Hello. Michelle and I were just saying it seems like a year since last week. I think so. Don't you think so? We should be in 27 now. Let's just go ahead and skip this next year. Let's get rid of that last one and let's skip this one and let's just go on. Oh, gracious. Um, the big thing that was occurring to me, and I'm really glad that our card is going to be supporting that also, is what can you do in the midst of such incredible chaos? And what I keep coming to is two things. For me, supporting my full presence so that I rest in presence. So not resting in control or trying to manage everybody, but really resting in being with. One of our friends calls it withing, which I really love, withing. So turning with into a verb. So withing with you and then withing with others. And for me, the Mr. Rogers suggestion, to look for the kind people. So for us to be the kind people that so that when we're exchanging attention, that there's that sense of regard and that sense of giving attention, because all of the insanity going on now, which I keep saying, this is not my president, but here we are, in Looney Tunes, that your ability to breathe, to give and receive attention is so key right now. And I'm so glad that we have this practice together because you could get either lost in the oh my God, or you could get lost out here in the oh my God, and the sense of so I mean, just even right now, let yourself. I was thinking about coming from the ground up, so blending your fear melters with your attention is what I do in times of high stress. And that's been going on to varying degrees for the last 10 years. So right now, what I'm noticing is that when I come back to it's like a meditation in action practice. When I come back to, okay, what can I presence right now? And I really think of giving ourselves attention as a very specific form of presencing, of withing, that I'm noticing. So what I want to invite you to do is to imagine that you have actual roots on your feet. So however your feet are right now, I'd like you to let yourself wiggle your toes and let your feet spread. Whether we're all kind of, if you'd like to stand, great, to do this. But even you can do it when you're seated, you can do it when you're traveling, you can do it in the car, you can do it in a meeting, is letting these long, beautiful, like mine are sparkly. My roots are sparkly and reaching down into the earth and letting myself be nourished by the earth. So letting the energy of those roots gathering up all of the moisture, all of the attention, all of the love you want through your feet, and let that come up through your legs. And what I would like to invite you to do is to do oozing with your legs as you're feeling the energy come up. So oozing with your legs. So you're rooting, and on top of that, you're letting yourself ooze and letting that oozing come up into your middle, and letting the love scoop be how you circulate the energy up through the middle of you. And your love scoops can be anywhere on you. And you can squeeze or tap or jiggle, but letting yourself bring love in and letting yourself touch anywhere, letting your presence be communicated by I can feel you. You might even let yourself, this would be a great place to use the so you're love scooping, and when I am touching and I'm I can feel the resonance of my hands. I can feel the opening in my chest. I like to love scoop into my back as well, because our backs do so much to hold us up and move us forward, and they just don't get enough love. So give some love scoops to your back, and I can feel the in my back through my hands. So see if you can, or even in your shoulders, because we think of the is always coming forward, but the I can feel it in my shoulders. I can feel it up in my upper back. And that for me, the love scoops then go into wiggles. I'd like you to let the wiggle come all the way up your body. So you got the wiggles in your legs and up through your body, and wiggling while you're giving attention to yourself. And then just notice, how does your body want to move right now? Just let your body move in any spontaneous way it wants to move. What we know is that spontaneous movement is the best thing that you can do for your brain. It supports your neuroplasticity. It supports you making new connections. It supports you getting smarter. So spontaneous movement. See, I would love to have this be a year where people become authentic and spontaneous and show up rather than really caught in fear. So anytime that I am, well, actually, I do this everywhere, but I want to invite you to let yourself, let your body respond so that you're not trying to hold everything and manage everything. Because part of this, the sea legs of being in this kind of, is finding see, I can find my feet right now, and I can feel those roots. And if you let yourself practice this little sequence a couple of times during the week, it will become more choiceless for you, so that no matter what's going on out there, you have that sense of flow and presence through your whole body. And then that can be shared out in the world. But there's going to be so much pulling on you. I felt a lot of stuff pulling on me over the last few days. People in the community all kind of went nutso, and they all wanted to come and climb in my lap, and my cat was already there. And so I want your attention to others to come from an overflow. So this is a time to really you first, loving yourself first, finding out what do you need to presence yourself. What kind of connection do you need? And then letting the overflow come to other people. Because your giving and receiving of attention needs to fill your own reservoir first. Speaking of reservoirs, our reservoir here in Southern California is almost at 100% again. We have had 22 inches of rain this season. I know, it's just been incredible. Yes, when it comes with yeses, and also it comes with, there was a lot of stuff that's needing to get fixed. So filling your own reservoir first. So let yourself just ask, am I willing to love me first? Am I willing to let me get filled up and have what I want first, and then let the overflow go to others? Because you might notice that you kind of, it might be some, oh, I couldn't possibly, or what about everybody else? Oh, I couldn't, not me, everybody else first. So really letting yourself be the center of your own presence is really the best gift that you can give to everybody in your life, anybody that you're going to contact. So just take a moment, like just from doing that little bit, I feel more flow in my body. I feel more ease. I feel more expansion. So let yourself notice if you have generated more presence. So your presence is going to get drained. And so having the practice, even simply of shifting your attention, because you'll get caught in the, and knowing how to, oh, feel a body sensation, notice your breath. That shift will open presence for you. And so this is time for us to look at the card now, because the card is perfect for what I was wanting to do today. So I'd like you to let your attention shift from going into the collage, noticing what you notice, noticing the openings, noticing, whether for me this feels very both rooty and also, I get some kind of sway oozing when I'm looking at it. And then coming back to how are you experiencing this card in your body? I like the simplest way is to notice a body sensation. So right now I'm noticing my sits bones. So they feel really letting go, not a kind of a tension or a heaviness, but a kind of, I can feel the contact between my sits bones and the chair. And then letting your attention go back into the card and letting yourself shift back and forth. Well, first I'll read the sentence here. I turn toward what is actually occurring with open posture and easy breath as I respond resourcefully to what wants to happen. That's all one sentence. That's a biggie. So let me read that one again. I turn toward what is actually occurring with open posture and easy breath as I respond resourcefully to what wants to happen. Breath, just letting that percolate in you, is that presence opens a pathway to actually respond rather than reacting, to respond in a creative way to what's happening. And here's the question. How can I turn easily toward what is actually happening and open my body and breath to respond resourcefully to what is emerging? So I love that addition of the verb emerging, because emerging is always occurring. And the next thing really can allow a little shift that opens more resources, opens more contact. So the key here is turning toward. And almost all fears have you turning away from. So if you shift your body in a way of opening your posture, opening your breath, and literally turning toward what is happening, that allows your presence to flow. And again, it's a practice. So what I find is the fellow here has, a kind of a lotus in his head and his third eye. I find that what I get from tuning into that image is that when I'm turning toward and I'm letting myself presence, it actually opens my creativity and my intuition. And I think that's what people are really referring to with third eye, is that your sense of being source rather than being waiting and trying to get really being victim. Being source or being victim. I know which one that I'm going to choose. So I also find this card very inspiring too, because I feel a lot of breeze in it. I feel a lot of flow in it. And also notice all of the trees and all of the roots. So it reminds me that my presence extends beyond my physical body. And first it can extend into the earth, and letting those amazing roots of presence nourish me. So see if you would be willing to be nourished by the presence that's really all around you. Ah, beautiful. All right, and let's come on back to the big group. What I like to do with these cards, if you have them, I like to pull the card and I just have that out for the week. And I can look at it, I can review it. So if you have the electronic one, so you can also take a picture, of the card here, so that you have something to, as a little reminder, a meditation back to one kind of reminder. Because life is going to happen, the moment that you get off this call, something, or maybe even in the middle of it, because I still, I have a workman here because something else is broken, of course. And but he did come, he was supposed to come between 8 and 9. So he came at 4 minutes to 9. So, yes, life will be occurring. And, back in the day, I used to have, my life is not working because something is broken, or my life is not working because, somebody's mad at me, or my life is not working because, it's usually because something, has gone wrong in the house. So notice how you most likely pull yourself off presence. Is it in interactions with other people? Is it noticing, what's going on in the world and freaking yourself out? Is it something that you're experiencing that you're needing to make decisions about in your day-to-day life? So for me, body, breath, and attention brings me to presence very quickly. So let's take a look at, I find that the Presence Connect play, which we're going to take a look at now, also supports my coming into presence and then a new way of acting in the world. Presence Connect play rather than complaining, going victim, or heroing everybody around me. Heroing, by the way, is going to be very popular right now. And if you have those tendencies, you're going to be getting a lot of attention. But I want to let you know it's going to drain you. And then you're going to go into either villain, what the fuck are you all doing to me right now? Or you're going to victim like, oh, everybody wants to call on me. So I've been feeling a twinge of that this weekend. So this is why I'm wanting to share it with you. So presence. A presence is appreciate you too. Okay, I can see should be what I'm seeing here is appreciate you TWO. So I want you to appreciate you TOO. So appreciate you. I even have in one of our classes, I'm going to make an assignment where people have to brag about themselves. And so I would love you to like appreciating, like, what's something really wonderful about you? And I'd like you to appreciate it out loud. So you're muted right now, but I think you're like, I really appreciate how I can see things that are emerging before they fall over on me. I really appreciate my ability to see something before it becomes a really huge issue or a really big possibility that I might have missed. So I'd like you to appreciate, and it could be like, I appreciate how much I love color, or I appreciate that I just contacted one of my friends yesterday and to find out how she was doing. So something that you appreciate. Now, you might have been doing it quietly, so now I'd like you to appreciate it like, I'd like you to kind of strut around and brag, and I really appreciate that I can see what's emerging. Yeah, so letting it be, and then you might feel like, oh, I just couldn't possibly, and then you can do little fear melters. So you letting yourself be as big and as expanded as you are, so you can invite other people to be their bigness in your presence and in their world also. And appreciating, I think, is one of the most underutilized skills and practices. It has no downside and it has just enormous benefits. So appreciating is also a great shift, because we think of appreciating as being more rah-rah, but appreciating at its core is being sensitively aware of. And for me, when I have, lots of people who are in various forms of kerfuffles right now, and giving my sensitive awareness rather than fixing it, or giving them advice or saying, why are you doing that again? That's a pattern of yours, which is always so helpful. The appreciating of, oh, yeah, when I tune into that, I can feel the heaviness of it. Yeah, that kind of sensitive awareness is probably the biggest bridge that you can create with appreciation, because almost everybody thinks nobody really notices what's going on for me, but we really do. We may not, we don't get it, we don't register it cognitively, but we are always resonating with each other. And so if you get little words to that, like, oh, I heard that breath. That sounded like a real sigh. Ah, that really creates the nourishment of connection. And so here's connection. Ah, connection. Give attention to where others' body and breath is open. Where we know our brains are trained to look for what's wrong. And that's our default brain function, to protect us. But letting yourself notice where something is open, where is there space? It's what we call favoring the opening. And it's really magical. So noticing, like just noticing your compatriots here on the call and letting yourself tune into where do you notice an opening? And then letting yourself have notice that in yourself as well, because that's the reason that you're noticing it, is because you're doing it too. So an opening, so there could be an opening in like an opening in a person's smile, or an opening, you can see that the breath is moving up into their chest. And as you notice that, you are connecting at a very deep level that you don't have to talk about. It really is an energetic kind of connecting. And then play. Oh, play. This is a movement skill. And it's in an area that people almost never pay any attention to, which is weight. Because we think of weight, WEIGHT, as substance. But we don't think of our movements as either being light. So like imagine that you're getting an eyelash out of the corner of your eye. And the way that you're doing that is using lightness in your movement. So, or if you were going to get like, if there's like a cat hair on top of the computer, so I'm reaching in to get but how I'm using my body is light. So now imagine that you're going to have to pick up the chair that you're sitting on. Get yourself ready to pick up the chair. And that kind of, or I used to use the image too of getting towels out of the washing machine that have been washed and putting them into the dryer, so that using your body to activate strength. And we don't realize that we can do that with issues as well as with stuff. So just let yourself consider maybe an issue or something that you're needing to make a decision about. And when you're considering it, what if you approached it lightly, like just looking at the edges of it as if you were moving the issue from one place to another? And then letting yourself shift into strong, like I can move this thing. So the oomph, getting your oomph activated. Sometimes you need your delicate, moving a piece of china. And sometimes interacting with yourself or others, you want to be light. But sometimes it's like, no, you cannot do that here. Activating your strength is very, very powerful. And so learning how to play with those really adds to your possibility of choosing. And so those are your considerations and your practices and your play for this week. And so if there's one thing that we've done today that you go, oh, I really got that. Oh, I really enjoyed that. I want to invite you to write that down right now. So just make yourself a little note or record it. Like if it's not convenient for you to write, I use my recorder now to so that I don't lose it, because I want you to have an anchor, a tent pole that you can come to during this week to and then what I find is that when I have that one that's really easy, it can then circulate into all of these other skills that I can get access to. Yes. And Stephen, I see your hand up. Did you want to say something or you're just playing? Okay. Yeah. Because I was like, so the lightness. So I have, what was just coming to me is that our cat Allie loves to have the area right above her eyebrow. She loves to have that lightly scratched. And so for me, that when I tune into that brings me that sense of of presence and being with. And it is also a kind of appreciation. And so if you have a physical way of anchoring, it will allow everything else to bloom. So that's what I want to invite you to play with this week, and want to appreciate you coming into your new year. For me, it already feels like another year. It's still January. Is it January? Anyway, time and space, very malleable. So thank you for being in connection, because this is the ballast for all of us, and something you can tune into, that here's your community where you are so welcome, and welcome with everything that's going on. So please stay and as long as you like, and be with each other. And I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Mwah! Take care.